Speaking of wanky, are you ready for your first act? That's a joke, he's very, very lovely. It is James, everybody! Woo!
Good evening, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight? That's good. Very glad to hear that. Apologies. I thought I'd start with a few musical numbers tonight. So, 3:17, 149. Thank you very much. The man who makes my clothes listens to feminist pop songs to help him work faster. Apparently they make the Taylor Swift. I bought a new boat for my trip to Mardi Gras. The new mast is straight, but the New Orleans. My landscape gardener is charging me £10,000 for 1 hour's work. It's daylight shrubbery. By the way, I'm sorry for reading off my phone. I know it's quite unprofessional, but see, I've got a really bad memory. I tried to improve it by eating brain food, but apparently that's against the law because of something called cannibalism. Go figure. So, you know how they say comedy is tragedy plus time? Well, my dad died this morning, so shit. Anyway, there's been a lot of interesting stuff in the news lately. A golf pro got disqualified for lying about where he positioned his starting ball. Turns out honest tee is the best policy. They've discovered that Karl Marx used to write in entirely lowercase. He was that against capitalism. Lightning strikes twice. It seems the Met Office didn't listen to their demands the first time. The rodent mafia has been taken down thanks to a mole in the organisation. And Boy George's pet lizard has completed his anger management course. Now he's a karma chameleon. I finished my degree! Yay! Oh, thank you. It was quite hard. So I've always had trouble with school. My algebra teacher wouldn't shut up about his ex. My trigonometry teacher was obsessed with us all getting a tan. My history teacher asked if I could remember what nationality Napoleon was. I said, of course I can. My music teacher got electrocuted. He was a really good conductor. My German teacher always wanted us to say please and you're welcome, but that just made me bitter. Joke for the German speakers out there. And my biology teacher gave me detention for making puns about the female reproductive system. Total overreaction. But since I finished, I've been looking for ways to fill my time. I went out drinking with a carpenter, got absolutely hammered. I tried to do a bit of modelling, but I ran out of clay. I tried designing inescapable mazes, but that's a dead-end job. I went out drinking with a qualified first aider, got absolutely plastered. Thought about donating all my socks to charity, but when I got cold feet. I put hair dye on a tree. I know that's weird, but in my defence, its roots were showing. I went out drinking with a plumber. Well, I was going to, but when I showed up, he was already shit-faced. And now I work at a bubble tea place with 3 other employees. We like to sing to the customers when they come in, like, what flavour do you want, what flavour do you want, what flavour do you want, what flavour do you want? We're a boba shop quartet. My dad was really proud of me for getting that job, and since he died, I've been thinking a lot about family. My family's pretty strange. They're strange to me, I guess, but you might think they're normal, you might think yours are even stranger. You know, weirdness is relative. My brother's a comedian too. We used to be a double act, but he was always bullying me, saying I wasn't funny. So I decided to stand up for myself. When I was a kid, I would always play with exposed electrical wires. When my mum found out, she was shocked. I was grounded, of course. My nephew came up to me and said, what do you call a really big rock? So I said, boulder. And he said, what do you call a really big rock? My aunt just had a baby. Now that baby would be my first cousin, but because she had a C-section, they're actually my first cousin once removed. A few of my other cousins have started dressing like cowboys, going around throwing lassos at people, but they're not going to rope me in. They actually entered a lassoing competition, but nobody won. Finalists were all tied up. My great uncle started a company for balding pilots. It's a receding airline. My second cousin promised she'd never give me acupuncture, but then she stabbed me in the back. My third aunt, twice removed, died in an airport, caught a terminal illness. My step-great-grandfather on my mother's side sings Waterloo Sunset all the time. And I used to make fun of him for it, but now I know you shouldn't shame people for the kinks. And my brother-in-law's sixth cousin, 4 times removed, has been running around shouting about little glass balls going missing. I think he's lost his marbles. Anyway, since my family's so strange, I've been thinking about trying to start a family of my own. Last year, my ex left me for a really clever man who studies languages. I guess I should have listened more carefully. She was always saying she wanted a cunning linguist. or yeah, something like that. I don't know, I wasn't listening. Yeah, she wanted to experience other tongues. Yeah. I'm dating someone new now, though. We met because I referenced her in a paper I was writing. It was love at first sight. I'll tell you a bit about my girlfriend. She's a magician, which means the sex is pretty complicated. See, I try and pull out, and I just keep going and going and going. She also loves brewing potions. She's got a new dog, Elixir. Oh, it took a moment, yeah. Bit of a thinker. She's just started cosmetology school, majoring in makeup. Right now she's doing a foundation year. I visited her on campus recently. She gave me a contour. But because I don't wear makeup, she was embarrassed to be seen with me. Yeah. She asked me to conceal her. She's also vegan, which has really impacted my stand-up. See, I'm used to telling a lot of cheesy jokes. Can't do that anymore. Now I've had to start telling corny jokes instead. She likes those. She said she wants us to run away and get married at her family's melon orchard. But we've only been dating a few months, so I've told her we cantaloupe. So, my dad died, and my relationship's going badly, and, those aren't even the only bad things to happen to me lately. I got a self-driving car recently, but it's got a ton of glitches and bugs. The worst one is this one that lets it defy gravity. That just drives me up the wall. I got crow's feet after there was a murder outside my house. I lost one of my chess pieces, so I went to a pawn shop, but they couldn't help me because the piece I'd lost was a bishop. I went to a Star Trek convention dressed as Chewbacca. Whoopee mistake. I got kicked out of the Edinburgh Fringe Festival because I got a haircut. I bought an expensive jumper from a sheep farmer only to realise they'd fleeced me. I got a match on Tinder, nearly burned down a forest. And I got banned from a bowling alley just for eating Skittles. Yeah. Well, finally, reaching the end, in honour of my dad, some words of wisdom. Smoke a joint before going to an arcade, and you'll always get a high score. It's dangerous to steal kitchenware, but sometimes you've got to take a whisk. If you're going to make a deal with a puppet, make sure there's no strings attached. A shoe wouldn't smell good if you burned it, but a sandal would. Don't play chess with Chris Hemsworth, he's a Thor loser. Never let a cactus buy you a drink, there's a high chance it'll be spiked. And a restaurant is never going to explode, and neither is a cafe, but a dynamite. Well, that's all from me, you've been wonderful. Oh wait, hang on. Thank you all, I've been James Morris, good night.